Hello viewers, I'm happy to see you again in this program on Africanews, your Pan-African channel. The topics right away. In summary, Zamalek are back at the top after 17 years of stagnation. The Egyptians won the CAF Cup on Sunday at the end of the suspense victory in the penalty shootout series against RS Berkane in the final return to Cairo. In the African Champions League, an exciting second leg final is on the horizon. No winner between Wydad of Casablanca and Esperance of Tunis in round 1. The two teams will meet again this Friday in Tunis with a small advantage for the Tunisians. Finally, World Cup for under-20s is working for Senegal, the first of the 4 representatives of the continent to qualify for the round of 16. Mali and South Africa will have to wake up after beating at the start at the risk of saying goodbye to the competition. Welcome to Football Planet. The weekend was particularly emotional with the finals of the African Club Cup, starting with the CAF Cup and the Zamalek title in Cairo at the end of the suspense on Sunday, and the return final against RS Berkane. It took a series of penalties to see the Egyptians win their first title in this tournament 17 years after the last Continental Champions League title. The story by Serge Kofi and Ignatius Anno.
The wait has been too long. 17 years after their last continental title, Zamalek are once again at the top of African football, this time in the CAF Cup. The Cairo-based team beat RS Berkane on Sunday after a thrilling suspense on a warm night. The Egyptians went after this success with their guts. And after their defeat in the first leg, Zamalek had to react at home to Moroccans who had no complexes and were determined to snatch their first continental star. And they did not miss out. It was not until the 5th minute of the game that Mohamed Allah reset the scores from the penalty spot. Then, they had to stay solid and avoid this goal on the outside, which they did to push the suspense to the penalty shootout series. Khalid Mutayyib's teammates were more skillful in this exercise. They won 5-3 to win their first CAF Cup title, their 6th continental title. This ends 17 years of a title drought.
Zamalek, who is therefore entering a little more into the history of African football with his 6th continental title. Meanwhile, Wydad Casablanca of Morocco are looking for a 4th title in the other competition, the Champions League, where the mission looks complicated as they travel this Friday to Esperance de Tunis after drawing at home 1 goal everywhere in the first set. Fouan's Bazati's proteges will have to fight hard to review the trend. The explanations of Bridget Ugwe and Frida Mbala Blewa.
It's a rematch that promises to be more than exciting. After a stunning first-leg match, Tunisia's Esperance and Morocco's Wydad Casablanca meet again this Friday for a final and electric match in the Champions League. The Tunisians are at an advantage after drawing with Morocco in the first leg, putting them a goal away that could tip the balance in the second set. The reigning African champions may have regrets, however, for failing to contain the Wydad's rise, which was reduced to 10 to 50 after the expulsion of their captain Brahim Nakach. Despite their disadvantage, the Moroccans managed to regain the lead thanks to the powerful header from Sheikh Komara after El Haddad had taken a free kick. The Ivorian defender was then fighting back to his compatriot Fosni Koulibaly, who scored the opening goal at the very end of the first half. Everything remains to be seen again in this thrilling finale.
Yes, a breathtaking suspense for the second leg final. I will remind you next Friday at the Red Stadium. As I told you earlier, Senegal is the first African country to validate its ticket to the round of 16 of the Under-20 World Cup in Poland. The club won the second game of the tournament on Sunday ahead of Colombia 2-0. 2 goals scored on the penalty by Brahim Niane and Dion Lopi. The round of 16 is still a long way off for Mali and South Africa, who will have to react on Tuesday in order not to compromise their chances of qualifying. Here's the schedule of the African teams this week. You will, of course, have all the results in our next show. Mohamed Salah, Naby Keita, Sadio Mane as Victor Wahama, Serge Aurier, coach Africans will rule Europe. Of course, we talk about the Champions League final, which will take place on Saturday in Madrid, Liverpool against Tottenham. 100% English duel between two teams that have lifted mountains to get there, two fantastic runs against Barca and Ajax Amsterdam respectively, enough to make this final sensation. See you on Saturday at 7 p.m. GMT. But before that, three other Africans, Alex Iwobi, Mohamed Emmanuel and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, will be looking to win their first European title with Arsenal. The Gunners challenge the Chelsea Blues in another 100% English and even London duel in the European League final. It will be this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Universal Time in Baku, Azerbaijan. Let's not talk about this incredible situation among the Black Stars of Ghana, a team with two captains, Andre Ayew, who will wear the armband, and Asamoah Gyan, designated general captain. The emblematic striker who made a lot of headlines after announcing his retirement and reversing the decision 2 days later after the intervention of the head of state. And this is an issue we are discussing with Ghanaian journalist Ernest Goranteng. Thank you for joining us on this show, Ernest. First of all, do you understand the decision of the coach to appoint Asamoah Gyan as general captain after having entrusted the armband on Andre Ayew?
My opinion is very simple, that a football team setting will have outfield and infield players. So you have a leader in defense, you have a leader in midfield, you have a leader in attack, and then you have a leader of the team in general. Normally that is the coach. The coach is like the chief executive. He's a big decision maker. So my immediate response to a question like this is, okay, he's chief executive, he's the boss, he's the coach, he makes the big decisions, he has decided that whatever it is, whatever the reasons are without going into it, he names somebody captain, but does not in any way diminish the roles of others who will be leading in various aspects as regards the team's operations, the team's performances going forward. So that's my immediate reaction to this development.
But doesn't this situation reflect tension within the team?
So I was making the point that it is a human institution. There's no way life itself, team performances, etc., can be insulated from friction, disagreement, camps, factionism. That is the reality of life. It is not to justify it, but these things will continue to live with us. You know how long we've been discussing disunity, that's how you want to put it, or factionalism, that's how you want to put it, in major football teams the world over. It's happened to big national teams, even at club level, for many, many years. So going forward, it is the duty of the coach, who is chief executive of the team, the management team, and the players themselves to allow for what will be the overarching duty of their coming together. That I'm sure will be winning titles, to supersede anything personal.
The intervention of the head of state to bring him back has been heavily criticized by the Ghanaian media in particular. What do you think of that?
Let's look at things this way, in two simple ways. One, it's not the first time I've had world leaders intervene in the career of footballers on and off the pitch. And depending on the magnitude of the player, his contribution and what he brings to the national team, many presidents the world over have intervened in different levels. Let me give you the most recent global example. President of Argentina, Macri, flew a plane all the way to Barcelona to meet and have a conversation with Lionel Messi, one regarded as the best player in football history, to discuss with him his decision to return to the national team following an announcement to quit for good, after the World Cup. So these things happen. It's not the first time Asamoah Gyan has attracted the intervention of a sitting president. And that is not to me, he does that to play to his advantage or anything.
Do you think that Berkane is an indispensable player for the national team?
I don't know how appropriate this is, but just because I am opportune enough to be exposed to what happened during some of the conversations, there was a simple question asked to the coach whether he needed Asamoah in the upcoming tournament, and his response was succinct, that he needs him. So I am not the one to do the talking for the coach. The coach mentioned that and that is what precipitated that phone conversation between Asamoah and the president of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. He called him primarily because the coach said he would need Asamoah, his presence, his performance, his kickery, his magic, his record, his experiences, his grace, and what he has offered the national team and his football career generally, the last, 17 years or so at the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019.
Thank you very much, RS Berkane, speaking to us from the French capital, Paris. And that's the end of the show. But the news continues on our channel and our website, www.africanews.com. I wish you an excellent week and look forward to seeing you next Monday. Goodbye.